Recently, wild fluctuations in the world cocoa market price have compelled us to take emergency steps to cushion our cocoa industry and protect our farmers. Measures have included a painful downward review of the domestic producer price. The current crisis in the cocoa sector compels us to urgently introduce reforms in the entire cocoa value chain. Reforms will include, amongst others, domestic funding for cocoa purchasing, expanded involvement of local licensed buying companies in cocoa purchasing, including the revamp of the produce buying company, expand value addition and processing of cocoa and other tree crops locally, automatic price mechanism that pays the farmer 70% of the international market price at prevailing exchange rates, drastic reduction of expenditure and elimination of waste in the cocoa board, and retooling of the cocoa processing company. We must move Ghana from a raw commodity exporter to a value-added producer. The same applies to the extractive industry. To achieve processing of all mineral ores locally within a 5-year time frame. At the center of our transformation agenda is a 24-hour economy policy. Factories operating one shift produce one shift's output. Factories operating 3 shifts maximize capital, infrastructure, and labor productivity. The 24-hour Economy Authority has now been established to coordinate nationwide implementation. I had the privilege of assenting to this bill, and it has been enacted into law. For manufacturers, this includes shift-based incentives, off-peak electricity tariffs, enhanced nighttime security, structured labor dialogue, tax exemptions on equipment for factory expansion, and other associated incentives. This is not mere reform, it is a productivity revolution. The African Continental Free Trade Area is the world's largest integrated market by the number of participating countries. But access alone does not guarantee competitiveness. Energy reform is an African Continental Free Trade Area strategy. Financing reform is an African Continental Free Trade Area strategy. Enforcement reform is an African Continental Free Trade Area strategy. We must work to make Ghana West Africa's production hub. Before I conclude, thank you. Thank you. Before I conclude, allow me to address a sector often seen as social, but fundamentally economic, and that's the area of sports and recreation. Sports today influences global markets, tourism, media rights, youth employment, creative industry, and investment flows. In 2026, Ghana stands at the center of several global platforms. Our national football team, Black Stars, is preparing for its 5th FIFA World Cup appearance. Our women's soccer team, Black Queens, heads into continental competition with renewed credibility. We also prepare for the 2026 Commonwealth Games and the 2026 Summer Youth Olympics. These moments position Ghana before global audiences and investors in ways that few sectors can do. We've therefore established the Ghana Sports Fund, a transparent financing framework for grassroots development, school sports, athlete welfare, infrastructure modernization, and long-term talent pathways. No country achieves sporting excellence without deliberate funding systems. I invite corporate Ghana to view this not as charity, but as a partnership in national development. Government has created a framework. Let us build the systems. So tonight, private sector, I have you here, and all senior government officials, ministers, Bank of Ghana, GIPC, 24-hour authority, all of us are here together. I propose a covenant between us. government must commit to maintain stable macroeconomic policy. The turbulence in macroeconomic policy affects your businesses. We must maintain regulatory clarity. Regulations must be clear and simple and not intended to obstruct private business. We must look at the whole structure of industrial financing and apply industrial financing reform. We must enforce fair trade, so fair trade enforcement. Government also commits to improving infrastructure, including the roads, utilities, power, water, so that the private sector and industry can expand and thrive. And then also government commits to regular consultation with the private sector to resolve the challenges and obstacles that prevent your businesses from growing. In return, I ask the private sector to invest and scale up domestic production, create additional Ghanaian jobs, prioritize local content, invest in skills development, maintain international standards for our products, and engage transparently in policy dialogue with government. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ghana we all seek will not be built by speeches. It will be built by factories operating at scale. It will be built by farms that are linked to processing plants. It will be built by laboratories that are producing pharmaceuticals. It will be built by industrial parks that are producing for Ghana and exporting to Africa and beyond. And so, today is a presidential dialogue with the private sector. But let us move from dialogue to delivery as we leave this place. Together, we will build an industrial Ghana that is competitive, resilient, and prosperous. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong.